We put we have this duplication model, and it's like, step 1, say this. Step 2, say this. Step 3, say this, right? Right? We have this, get them to a class, do this after the class, this is what you do for wellness consult, this is how you do continuing education, everything is laid out, everything is scripted, and then we basically just say, go find your builders. And you're like, how? Right? How many of you feel that way? How many of you in the audience honestly feel like, let's be honest, you're the only one really building your business? Turn around, look around. That's a lot of people. That you're the only one. And I'll tell you what happens. When you continue to do this, month after month, year after year, over time, not only do you lose hope, not only do you get discouraged, not only do you start resenting those people that you help, right? That you're constantly putting your leaders underneath it. I call that the black hole. Do any of you have black holes? You constantly put your leaders under one space and like nothing happens. It just goes into this black hole, right? But then after she's laughing, you have a black hole. Got it? She's like, I am the black hole. Her leader's sitting next to her like, you are my black hole. That's why you're here. You should have brought your black holes here. Just kidding. But all of these feelings, that's not the worst feeling, but this is the worst feeling. Have you ever had the feeling when you wake up and you really don't like your business? You really don't want to do it anymore. But you feel like you're trapped. Because you have people counting on you, depending on you, you've signed these people up, you've got this system going, but you don't find joy in doTERRA anymore. Have you felt like that? This is what happens when you're doing everything yourself. And we're going to talk a lot more about after you find builders, where to place them. How many of you have placement issues, right? We're going to go over that tomorrow in great detail. She raises both hands. She's like, I have placement issues. So, how many of you have no idea why I'm wearing pajamas on the stage? I just feel... Some of you are like, I am super out of the loop, right? The reason why I'm wearing pajamas on the stage is a couple months ago. I basically launched something and I said, okay, I'm going to do this program where I find a bunch of builders in a really short period of time. And I put everybody, they could watch me, they could listen to me. They could listen to real live calls of what people said, what they didn't say, crazy mistakes that I made. Actually, they weren't too crazy, right guys? But some mistakes that I made. And maybe some high moments. And a lot of people getting excited, how to get referrals, all sorts of things. And then within 2 days, I had 7,000 people following me on a private Facebook group. And so we were going through this. I was waking up at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, because remember in Prague, day is night and night is day, not quite, but it's 8 hours difference. And Emily Wright told me, Allyse, everyone you sign up needs to be in the US. I'm like, Emily, I'm living in Europe. She's like, you can figure it out. So I literally put a recruiting schedule together, and it was like 4 to 6 a.m. And then after my kids came home, it had to be at times that worked for the US, right? So I went through this process, and the reason why I went through this process, and I did it day in and day out, lots and lots of hours, is because I wanted to find out what my system was. I wanted to find out what my system was. I just kind of did it. I mean, I remember Patrick asking me once, how do you close all these people? I'm like, Patrick, I can't. He actually said, why don't you teach me how to close like this? Patrick, I can't teach you how to close. It's just something you do. You just kind of finesse it. And he's like, I don't know how to like, what do you mean by finesse? I'm like, this is kind of like years ago when we were talking about something else. He actually made me sit down and start systematizing out, right? And so as I went through this process, in my mind was this, okay, are there things that I always do and always say, and are there times when I always say them, and when something comes up, an objection comes up, how do I handle it and how do I overcome it? And I found out something. I'm a very habitual person. Like, I do almost the same thing all the time. And I lead them through the same path all the time. And I usually even use the same stories. And the same how to overcome objections. And I do it really consistently. And the thing that was interesting to me when I got to like how to close the deal, like how to seal the deal, when I actually closed, I realized this. It was exactly the same every single time. Exactly, I would just take people's circumstances and change it based on their circumstances. And it was the same. And I even walked up to Patrick and I said, Patrick, do you realize I seal the deal exactly the same every time, just with minor tweaks? So, I figured out the process. I knew how to do it, right? Obviously, I'm not too shabby at the business, right? I'm okay. And I was hoping for some more laughs on that one, but I figured out this actually way more systematized than I thought. So last week, what I did is I recorded and re-recorded, and I was kind of grouchy to my husband all last week because I literally was recording for 12 to sometimes 16 hours a day. To put this down for you just like the daily mentor calls. Awesome? But we will talk about the pajamas. Oh, you're wondering why I started with that. Got it? So in the program that I did, 10 Builders in 10 Day program, Emily Wright, it wasn't my idea, by the way, it was Emily's. And thus, that is why, in just a minute, you're gonna see Emily on stage in pajamas. That's because she forced me to do it too. So she said, Allyse, like we had a Facebook Live, right? For like, I don't know, 20, 30,000 people watched it. And during the Facebook Live, she never prepped me for this, Emily style. And she said, well, Allyse, are you gonna do all of your recruiting in your pajamas, your red pajamas? She saw them when she came to Prague. And everyone really liked my silky red pajamas. And it was kind of like this thing, right? And she goes, are you gonna do them in your red pajamas? And I said, I looked at her, I mean, we're like on a Facebook Live in front of thousands and thousands of people. And I looked at her, I said, do you want me to? And she goes, yes. So every video I took, for 10 Builders in 10 Days was in my red pajamas. So what happened was I got so much feedback with me being in these red pajamas, and everyone was like, I need red pajamas, I'm buying some red silky pajamas, I have to have red pajamas, all this. So I decided really fast, because now that the Shungs taught me how to get stuff from China, I got some ins. Yeah? So I went really fast and I designed some doTERRA red pajamas. Yeah. I designed some doTERRA red pajamas, and they're mostly for my Diamond Dashers, actually. You're welcome. And then so many of my Diamond Dashers, when I said, guys, I don't know if any of you saw my live that I did about my red pajamas, opening up the package. Did you guys see that? So I got them one day and I'm opening them up, I'm like, these are the cutest things ever, they're so great. And I put them on, and tons of people said, I want to buy some for my team, I want this, I want that. So I decided, okay, I'm going to order 1,000 pairs of red doTERRA pajamas, okay? And that's a lot of red pajamas. I could wear a new pair of red pajamas every day for 3 entire years. Different sizes. Extra large to extra small. I did not buy them all for me. So anyway, we brought them here. Yeah. And they kind of became this icon of how we're going to launch this new program and what Emily Wright is going to challenge you to do. so that not only January becomes an incredible month of enrollment, but 2020 we start off with an amazing push, okay? So, oh, and by the way, I did have a lot of men say, like, are we gonna wear red and white pajamas like that? And so I did design. By the way, did you know I was a clothing designer before doTERRA? No. I did wedding dresses, actually. And there's pockets, you guys. In the pants. Pockets in the pants. So you could do your doTERRA work in your jammies and put everything you need right there in your pocket. Awesome. So awesome. Anyway, okay. So these men were like, Allyse, I can't wear those. I want a pair of red pajamas too, but I'm not gonna like. So what I did is they're all red, no like candy cane things for them, right? All red with a red doTERRA, not O. Because I thought this is a little feminine. Especially if there were two. Anyway. All right. I told my husband when I first came in as a designer, I'm like, really? Really, do we want an O right there? And he's like, no, I think it's cute. I'm like, really? I'm like, as long as it's just one pocket, we're okay. Okay, so it actually says doTERRA, it's all red. How many men are, Steve? Steve, how many do you want? One. How is she so witty on that stage? Seriously. All right. So, are you ready to find out how we're going to do this? Here we go. Introducing the program that will teach you how to solve your problem with Find a Builder. Let's be honest, really. How many of you really, right now, this is one of your biggest problems in the business is finding builders, right? Yeah. It's almost everyone's number one problem, besides just not working. That's the number one problem, actually. So, here we go. There are 10 training calls. We are not going to go through all of them here. I have them for you. I'm going to prep you for this, okay? These calls sometimes, be patient with me. I tried to get this as tight as I could. I re-recorded it and re-recorded it. Some of the calls are 45 minutes long, some are 20. The 45-minute calls go through, like, basically the entire close. Listen to it. Don't be doing the dishes when you're listening to these calls, all right? Sit down with a piece of paper, get into your head of exactly how you're going to run this program. So there's 10 training calls. It's step-by-step proven methods, proven by who? They're proven by me, right? And a lot of the builders that I have worked with, right? I teach them to do the same things. But you know what's interesting? I've never taught my frontline how to do this. I didn't know what I was doing. In fact, that's what I felt bad about. I'm like, you know what? I'm teaching thousands of people at the same time I'm teaching Dave Miller. Sorry, Dave. Where are you? Yeah. Still love me. And Kirk Hamilton, you know? Dave, you'll notice that as you go through this, there's so many things you've already heard. It's just it wasn't put together in a systematic way. Does that make sense? Yeah. You're going to learn what to say and what not to say. Listen to real audios of people recruiting. Do you guys want to do that? Yeah. So what I did is I actually tailored them down. So you don't really know what their names are and much about them, and you don't get a lot of backstory, except for a couple of them, like one of my brand new builders, Melanie. Where is Melanie? Is she still in here? She was sitting right there. She left. That's how my builders are. They just leave. Not even telling me. I don't know where she is right now. So I talked a lot about Melanie. She has a really powerful story. So you're listening to real audios, and then feel the joy and excitement of contacting. Honestly, you will. And then how to develop a constant stream of business builders, of people that are excited to do the business with you. Can I be really honest with you? And like I haven't been honest before. Can I be honest now?
Sure.
After this, I'll lie. And before this, I lied. But right now, I'm going to be honest. I never am afraid of finding builders, ever. I'm never afraid. I know exactly how to do it. It's like clockwork to me. I just had never put it down on paper. I was never afraid. In fact, somebody could take me and drop me in any country with $10 in my pocket and just say, Allyse, go presidential diamond in 1 year. I could do it hands down anywhere in the world. Done.
Woo!
The question is that good for my family and my husband and for my psyche, right? And so that's where we get to decide. But the decision is never, I never make decisions on, I'm afraid I'm never going to find anyone again. I'm going to place them in this not ideal spot because I'm afraid, or it might take me too long. No. The decision is simply this. How much time and effort am I willing to put into a system that I know works?
Amen.
That's it. That's all. So if I had a lot of time and effort, could I go triple presidential in just 3 or 4 months? Absolutely. The system works every single time and time again. It doesn't mean that everybody works. In fact, out of four leaders that I usually bring on, 1 is usually ideal, but I even take that into account. If I need one spot to fill on my front line, or if I want to, let's say I want to go triple blue, I'm triple diamond now, I want 1 more spot. In my mind, I think I need to find 4 committed and capable builders. I know the ratio, and I've taught you that in here. Does this make sense?
Yes.
So, in my mind, when it comes to building doTERRA, it's really simple. I never make any, fear is not a part of my psyche with doTERRA. It's simply this. Am I willing to put the time and energy in? That's it. And if I am, the same results happen. I want to teach you that. Right? Isn't that what you want? So whenever you want to find builders, you just ask yourself, am I willing to put the time and energy into it? And I already know the system. So let me go through what these calls are. Is that all right?
Yes.